Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, and oh my gosh, what a glorious day it is. Foodie Beauty just sent me off into a rage, and to my surprise, April Lauren is back. I'm so excited. I actually was contemplating doing like a retro series reacting to her and going over her story, her journey, where she went wrong, what she did right. She is back. She's been gone for, at least 7-8 months. Total radio silence. A video titled, Having Weight Loss Surgery After a Lifetime of Losing and Gaining Weight. This is amazing, guys. I think this is something April truly needs. She definitely had issues with food. I hope she's been doing the work. Before she left, it was speculated that she was starting the Army's lean program in Hawaii to be able to start the process of weight loss surgery, but she never mentioned it. She just kind of went quiet. I like April. She's had huge success before on a protein-sparing modified fast, but always had trouble with food, was too reliant, even back in the day, on exercise to keep the weight down, and eventually it caught up with her. You cannot out-train a bad diet. And she got to a point where her weight was just out of control, and I think it was too hard to handle. I don't think she started her channel with bad intentions, but somewhere along the line, it got to where she truly was lying about what she was doing, about her weight and things like that. And I think it's partly because she wanted to be this successful inspiration, but I think a lot of it usually came from she was truly embarrassed by her weight, by her inability to be as successful as she portrayed. And I'm not knocking her. I truly think surgery, she's one of the ones that will really help. So I am so excited to see what she has to say. Hopefully she's back for putting out consistent videos and stuff. I do have her sped up for time. I will slow her down if I have to. But let's get into this and see what April's doing. We'll see if she's honest about her weight. Hopefully she is. Like, come back and just start with a completely clean and honest slate, girl. Then you don't have to make up lies, keep up with the lies. Just be honest. So let's see what April has to say. She's looking lovely. Let's get into it.
I had weight loss surgery, and
oh, so she had it? Oh, wow. She already had it. Okay.
Well, strange, just jumping right into that. But not too long ago, I had weight loss surgery. I had the biliopancreatic diversion with duodenal switch. I don't know why I always do that. I say duodenal, but I had the
It's honestly, people pronounce it either way.
Pancreatic diversion with duodenal switch. People also just call it the duodenal switch, or I call it the duodenal switch. And I don't know why I say things wrong sometimes, but I do. I'm April Lauren. I am on a weight loss journey to lose over 200 pounds. This is my...
To lose, wait a minute. Okay, I'm going to slow her down for a second. She's on a journey to lose. How much did she say now?
I do. I'm April Lauren. I am on a weight loss journey to lose over 200 pounds. This is...
Lose over 200 pounds. So I'm guessing she gained pretty much most of the weight she had initially lost back, and was kind of starting from square one. So, okay, that happens. It happens to the best of us. But that weight loss surgery is an amazing tool that will be able to do a lot for her, so long as she doesn't waste it like Alex Rodriguez did. I have a nice hot cup of coffee, guys. What's in my cup? The usual, the coffee with a little bit of cocoa and creamer. We're ready.
My YouTube channel, Wake Up Bright, where I share all the things that help me live each day a little brighter. I imagine one thing you may be interested in is, how did you go from disappearing on YouTube to I got weight loss surgery, especially when I even made a video before that was like, why I won't get weight loss surgery. And
some people, it's a pride thing. You want to think that you don't need that type of intervention. I'm not big enough to need the surgery, but there's no shame in it. If you really need it and it's going to make you healthier and you're going to use it to change your life for the better, I will never shame anybody for it.
It's not a complicated story, but it feels so complicated to talk about. In this video, How Did I Get Fat, I talked about things that I know have led to depression.
Yeah, she was heavy most of her life, did a protein sparing fast in her early 20s, I believe. Lost a ton of weight, looked amazing, was very, very active. And then met Kenny and they got married and the wheels fell off the wagon.
And significant weight gain in my life. I did a whole timeline, and I have been trying to lose weight and maintain a healthy weight my whole life.
And the problem with April is she always liked the physical aspect of it. She used to rock climb and teach yoga and go to the gym. If you dig down into the depths of her Instagram, you see that. But the problem is you can't rely on movement alone. It's so easy to overeat. And especially, she's like me. She's only 5 foot, 5'1", 5'2". She's really short. So it doesn't take much to overeat your daily requirements. So I hope this really helps her with portion control and changing to eating healthier and just getting used to saying, I can't eat as much as my husband does. I'm just not, I can't.
And I just keep failing at it. And I really don't want to live my whole life failing at it. And I'm not going to. And
I wish she would have came up with this probably about a year earlier than she did. But oh well, better late than never, right?
This surgery is a tool for me to use to prevent that, to stop the back and forth, the up and down. And I know it's going to be work, but
yeah. And as long as, like I said, you don't do like Alex Rodriguez did, where you snack constantly, you eat the slider foods, you don't follow the rules, you drink a lot of sugary stuff. As long as you truly stick to the plan, it will be successful.
After stepping outside what I thought I knew and learning more, I think it's going to be a tool for that. Going back to the video, one of the things that I know has led to significant weight gain in my life before is big moves, like moving, relocating.
And now, okay, this is where I'm going to be a little critical. That's an excuse. Moving is stressful. It's crazy. I don't think they ever should have bought their house in, was it North Carolina? Because he's in the military, and just chances are you never know when you're going to get shipped off somewhere else. And that's exactly what happened. Moving to Hawaii, I imagine, was extremely stressful. But when you become a military wife, you kind of know that's par for the course. And just because you have crazy life changes isn't an excuse to, oh, I can't diet, I have to eat all the things, I can't ever eat healthy. Because the fact is life is always gonna happen. It's always gonna throw things at you, and food is a very common coping mechanism. It happens to everybody. I do it, and you just have to kind of learn to not let yourself go totally off the rails, which is what happened several times over to April.
And I know that there are things that I can do to jump right in and handle a move well, and I've done that before. I've done that well,
and I think that this one was really emotional too, because they were moving off of the mainland onto an island. So it was just so much harder to see family, to be close to people. It's very isolating, despite Hawaii being beautiful. So I imagine, when people said that it's almost like it's like a little foreign country. So I know April didn't have a ton of friends and stuff, but I know she loves her family, loves getting together with them. So I know that emotionally that was very difficult.
Well, lots of times before. And yet there's sometimes when I do it and for whatever reason, I can't hit all of the steps, all the things that I know help me from sliding into depression. And this move was definitely one of those times.
And she needs therapy for that. Again, no shame. I went to lots of therapy, but not the BetterHelp or Better Health, whatever it is, because they're not the greatest. So I hope with this program with her surgery, she's doing legitimate therapy and stuff to help her work through these things and the eating issues, because you can have huge success so long as you're honest with yourself and with your providers.
Times where I moved, and even before we got here, even before we ever actually moved, I had felt myself slipping. I had been slipping for some time and just living in denial about where I was at mentally and trying so hard.
And that was the worst part, was like we could see it. We knew it was happening. You could see the weight gain, and just the pride would never let her admit it. And I know what that's like. It sucks. You don't want to say, hey, I'm failing. But she just got stuck in this vicious cycle. And one of the things April is going to have to do this time around is just be honest. I mean, because people will catch on eventually about the lies. So just be honest, be straightforward, and, you know, take us on that journey, and you'll be better off for it.
To hold on and not sort of disappear into this mist of depression that is somewhat familiar to me. And I withdraw when I get to that point, and then I usually hit a point where I'm like, I'm withdrawn.
And depression is kind of weird, because some people overeat when they're depressed. Some people just don't even want to look at food.
I feel bad about it, and then I'm withdrawn, and I don't care about anything anymore. It's like everything becomes foggy, and then eventually one day I'm like, I come out of the fog, and I'm like, oh, what did I do? Like, how did I get here? And I know how I got there, and I felt helpless to stop that. And this time wasn't much different.
I don't think it helped either that her sister, Emily, who has a little channel and she's really bubbly and cute, lost a bunch of weight. I think she was on Vyvanse, and she was just calorie counting and stuff. And she lost a lot of weight and got really thin and looked really great. And people were actively like, dude, look at how good April's sister's doing. And Emily is very honest and upfront. And I think that really didn't help April's mental status back then.
We moved, and I did things that I thought would help, and I just slid. I slid and I slid, and I kept trying to make myself make YouTube videos, because I know YouTube videos are something I enjoy doing.
And you could tell she wasn't liking it at the end there. She was really struggling. She was doing it out of necessity, because the last few were sponsored videos, so I'm assuming she was fulfilling a contract, and then she disappeared. And then she stopped posting on Instagram, like all of the social medias that were public. She stopped, like silent, and her sister didn't speak of her and things like that. She really made a point to go off the radar completely.
I enjoy talking to those of you who watch and comment, and I enjoy messaging back and forth. And
we will be watching. We will be watching. This is kind of exciting. It's a nice new thing going on in Gorl world right now, you know?
And I just continued to withdraw. I didn't want to look at myself.
Now will Tammy Lemon make a return?
I didn't want to think. I didn't want to do any of these things. And I started gaining weight. And that was in spite of losing weight slowly. Before this regain that I had.
I'm sorry. The kiddo went outside and it made Frodo bark.
I thought the main reason I had always gained the weight back was because I lost it in an unhealthy way. That if I had lost it in a healthy way, if I got depressed and gained.
Okay, but see, here's the problem. Was through a lot of April's last journey she was recording, she was basically adamant about not counting calories and tracking at all, because it was triggering for her, and that, she could slip into an eating disorder. Yeah, coulda, shoulda, woulda. You know, there's always that chance, but that doesn't mean you're going to. A fact is when you have a weight to lose, especially when you're like really short and have a low healthy body weight, you may initially lose without counting and tracking and stuff, but eventually it's just a fact. You're going to have to. You're going to have to restrict in some way, shape, or form. And whether it be high carb, low carb, vegetarian, carnivore, anything in between, you're going to have to limit limit carbohydrates is obviously ideal, but you don't have to. But you're going to have to somehow find a way to limit your caloric intake. And you get to a point where you can't do that accurately without physically tracking. And her downfall was her food, her dishonesty, her ability to be real about what she was eating, how much she was eating, the denial that, oh my God, I legitimately have to track and I have to do it every day. Like, so hopefully she's over that.
Weight or moved and gained weight, that it would be okay because the weight loss was in a healthy way. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of, now looking back, it doesn't really make much sense that I thought that would be an answer, because the answer really is that it's a multi-pronged, there's lots of factors, and one singular thing probably isn't going to make it okay or make it not happen. It's a collective of steps to follow to prevent it or to, anyway. So as I gained weight and as I felt worse, I felt so angry at myself for letting it happen, for making it happen. And the angrier I got at myself, the worse I felt. It was just this negative loop,
Yeah, it's a spiral. It's just like a vicious cycle you can't get out of. I've been in it. I was in it for a lot of years. And also, I think that she just felt bad, not only for herself, for her health, for physically, her inability to have kids because of it. But harsh facts, Kenny married a thin, athletic, active woman. If I think of it, I will post some pictures on the screen of what she looked like around the time that they met and dated and got married. And I'm not saying that people shouldn't love you or be attracted to you if you gain some weight when you're married. But I'm not kidding. Like, if I gained 100 pounds, I wouldn't expect, my partner probably wouldn't care. He's like one of those guys, doesn't care too much. I would not expect him to be attracted to me if I gained 100 pounds, if I was morbidly obese, if he married me in a fit, healthy state, and I was active and he was healthy and lean and active. That's kind of the woman he wanted and was expecting and got initially, living a certain kind of lifestyle. And when you get to be around 400 pounds, which I believe April was actually probably around 400 pounds when she started. I think she was embarrassed. I think he wasn't happy about it. And I think that that had a big effect mentally on her. Because you want your partner to be attracted to you, right?
Negative cycle until one day.
And they couldn't have kids because of the weight. So that had to have been taxing.
Day, which tends to be a little bit of a darker time for me. And I was like, I'm gaining weight and I don't even care. Like, I don't even care. Like,
yeah, you get to the point where you're just like, screw it. I don't care. I'm not going to worry about this right now. I'll think about it tomorrow or next week or next month or after the holidays. I'm just going to eat the things. Like, I know what it's like. How many of us have been there?
It's like I no longer cared. I didn't want to weigh, which is fine. You don't have to weigh yourself. I don't have to weigh myself all the time, but I just started ignoring the number on the scale. And
that's bad because it can creep up and get so much worse than you think it is. And then you're like, oh no, how do I weigh this? Like, when did this happen? It's like a legitimate thing.
In a moment of clarity, if you will, I don't know if it was a moment of clarity or I don't know what it was, but I was like, no, I'm not going to do this. And so I was like, what can I do? What can I do? And I'm like, I'm going to try weight loss medicine. I'm going to, whatever weight loss drug is right now that everybody.
Oh, did she? Oh, I wonder if she tried Ozempic or Wegovy or something like that.
He's doing. I'm going to do that. And I called my sister. She did a weight loss medication for a brief period.
She did an ADHD medicine, I believe. I thought Emily did Vyvanse.
She lost a significant amount of weight. She's never been heavy like I have been heavy, but she did.
Yeah, and I think she's maintained it too. That girl, Emily, man, she's rocking it. And she works as a manager full time at a bakery. Like, I I couldn't.
The heaviest she had been. And when she hit that point, she went to her doctor and they sorted it out. And I think she took 2 different medications. You can check out her YouTube channel because she doesn't have a weight loss YouTube channel, but she has shared a lot of her weight loss stuff on her channel. She told me about her experience and I was like, okay. And then I made a doctor's appointment with my doctor and
Yeah, Emily's very cute and bubbly, and she's always been pretty honest and open about what she's done.
like, this is what my sister did. This is what I'm going to do. And
you have to remember, though, April was a lot more far gone weight-wise than Emily was. So while that's good in theory, I can understand why April needed more drastic intervention. Plus, April was just in so much more denial about her situation. So there's that.
As we talked, I was so not myself. As I talked to my doctor, I disclosed that I felt like I was depressed and that I no longer cared I was gaining weight. I said,
oh, I can't wait till Alona catches wind that April's back. Woo! I love her reacts.
Essentially just said the same things I'm sharing with y'all now, and that I know that when I have gotten to this point before, until I no longer feel this way, that I gain weight and I am completely oblivious to it, even though I know it. It's a weird place mentally that I get. And when I started talking to him about these things, he's like, okay, well, we need to treat that. Let's treat this depression. Like, I understand you want to continue to lose weight.
And that is a good step. I mean, you have to be mentally healthy. But the thing is your mental health is so strongly connected to your physical health that I feel like you need to do both simultaneously. You can't be morbidly or super morbidly obese. Fix your mental health to where it's good and then focus on weight loss, because I feel like your mental health is just never going to be in that good of a place while you're morbidly obese. And April very much was.
Lose weight, but we have to pump the brakes on the depression.
Yes.
He used better words than what I'm saying, but he was so caring and kind, and we prescribed me Prozac, and then he set a
oh, there's one of the doggies. I don't remember if that's Julio, I think it is, or Chipper, but I'm curious to see the dogs because I hope she's doing a lot of walking, and that would be good because the dogs needed to lose some weight too. So hopefully everybody all around is doing better.
Follow-up appointment for me to come back after a short period of time. And when I went to that follow-up appointment, it was like 4 weeks after, I was feeling it was not like I had completely turned around, but I had taken steps to do things that I know help me when I'm in a dark place, as opposed to just giving up and laying down and becoming a willful victim of my emotions. And
that was like one of the only problems too with April, was she really always came across as she acted like she knew what worked for her. She knew what she needed to do. She's very kind of bucks authority, and it's like, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to do it my way. Just a real like stubbornness. And hopefully she's gotten over that and gotten past that, because you can't be this way when you need to make the amount of change that April needs to make.
I think taking that medication definitely helped me with that specifically. And maybe it's something I always needed, was if I am experiencing depression, is to treat it.
And see, Foodie, see, Amber, when you take medicine appropriately, it works.
And maybe that's not a maybe. Maybe that's, I don't know why I can't not say maybe. I guess because I know it's not everybody, and not everybody and I are the same. Like, we don't all experience things the same. For me, that is probably what I have always needed to do, and something I have never done. I have never been treated for depression.
And people always talk to her a lot about the mental health and being honest about things, and she just never really wanted to kind of go there, at least for a long time. So yeah, it's good that she's gotten to this point.
Just go through it. And I withdraw into myself. I stopped talking to my friends, stopped talking to family. I stopped talking to the majority of people, and I just go through motions.
And she also cannot cannot take constructive criticism. I understand not liking mean comments, but it is going to happen. I get them all the time, and I'm a tiny channel. It is going to happen when you're on the internet. But the thing is April really just took people calling out legitimate problems and lies and inconsistencies and constructive criticism as bullying and hate. And you can't be that way. You have to be willing to listen to constructive criticism and stuff like that. And she just really had a problem with it.
And I didn't do that this time. Going to the doctor was different. That was a different thing, even though in my mind I was like, the thing that's going to stop this is taking a weight loss medicine. That's not what stopped it. What stopped it was treating the depression. Yeah.
So she didn't end up actually going on like some sort of semi-glutide.
And from that point, I went to the follow-up meeting with my doctor, and he's like, why haven't you considered weight loss surgery? He's like, looking at, what you've done in the past.
I'm really glad this doctor brought this up. I mean, at least he was like being honest and seeing her issues, seeing how much weight she needed to lose, and said, hey, why aren't you doing this?
They've given a medical history and stuff. He's like, why haven't you considered weight loss surgery? And I told him the same spiel. I'm like, because when I gain weight, even like this last time I lost it in a slow and healthy, sustainable way.
But the problem is sometimes slow isn't always better. And she wasn't going slow. She was going at a practically non-existent rate. And it sometimes, like, especially when she wanted to conceive and she's 40 years old almost, you gotta like pick up the pace and go a little faster. I'm not saying she should be losing 10 pounds a week, but at April's size, she could be losing more than like a pound and a half a month. It's like at that point, you're really not actually making any changes. You need to make enough change to where you're actually seeing progress and results. Like the slow and steady shit, it was just an excuse for her to be able to eat more calories in a day, have more cheat meals, exercise less, and basically still get away with her old bad habits.
But in the past, whenever I have lost weight and then regained, I regain it really fast, and all of my reasons. And he stopped me and he's like, that isn't what just happened. Like, you started to regain weight and you got help. And that kind of, it's not like in that moment I was like, oh yes, let me.
Yeah, because that protein sparing modified fast she did was drastic and it was extreme and she needed it. And it worked amazingly. And with, probably moderating herself to some degree and staying insanely active, she did keep most of the weight she lost off. But the problem is you can't live like that forever when you have responsibilities, a husband, a house, a job, you end up having kids. You can't be active for hours and hours every day. You have to still dial in on your nutrition. And like I said, April's like me, she's short. You get to a point where you're like 120, 130 pounds. You're just not eating a lot over the course of a day, especially if you become mostly sedentary. You don't need to eat much more than 12 or 1,300 calories, give or take. You know what I mean? So that's not a lot.
Get weight loss surgery. That's exactly what I needed to hear. But I kind of smiled, and then I left the appointment, and then that just stuck with me. And so the next appointment, I brought it back up to my doctor and was like, I thought about it. And I thought about the fact that I have never even looked into weight loss surgery. Like, I have always just turned it down.
I think that it was like one of the best options for somebody like April, to be honest. I'm really glad she went through with it.
Every time weight loss surgery has been presented to me, I'm like, obviously I'm too broken for that to work. I will be someone who loses the weight and gains it back. And
even with surgery, though, you will if you don't change your habits and you're not honest. Like I said, I hate to keep bringing her up, but Alexandra Rodriguez is a prime example of that. She got little to nothing out of that surgery, and she really could have.
And I don't know anything about it. And I had also looked some stuff up online that opened my eyes up to how much I actually didn't know, even though I have so many friends who've had weight loss surgery and I've always cheered for them. And I believe in it before I believed in it as a tool, but I'm like, obviously I'm too messed up for that to work for me.
No, I think it's really great for people who are really struggling just in the most major of ways and have a truly, like, April needed to lose more weight than how much she should actually weigh. April needed to lose at least 200 pounds. And for being like 5'1", she's like me, she's shorty, woman approaching her 40s. She needs a healthy weight for her is seriously between 100 and maybe 125 pounds. So when you get to where you're around 4 bills, it's overwhelming, and it's going to take a lot of intervention at that point because she didn't have the willpower to just do it.
And then some of the stuff I read made me hopeful. I'm like, well, maybe this is a permanent solution for me. And so,
yeah, and there's a lot of different types of weight loss surgery. There's various different types. So
then I went back to my doctor and I told him that, and I made an appointment to go to an information session. And that was the first step for my insurance, and then where I live specifically, because depending on where you live, the health insurance that the military provides does it differently, I think. But
yeah, I'm sure the military probably covers a majority of this, if not all of it, right?
The first step was to go to an information session. And
I'm curious to see how Kenny thought about this. I'm sure he'll be happy to get his fit wife back, and then she'll be healthier and happier. Maybe someday they can still have a child if that's what they want. But I imagine Kenny was probably supportive. What do you guys think? How do you think he felt about the surgery?
No one else. It was supposed to be like a group
tough nut to crack
information session where anyone who was interested was going to be there. But
she went to a seminar like Amber did, and nobody doxed it.
I think there was supposed to be 5, and I was the only one who showed up. And so I got pretty
joking.
lucky.
Amber totally wasn't doxed
because every question I had got to be answered. And so I didn't know which surgery. In that information session, he went over 3 different options. I think it was just 3 for weight loss surgery in very deep detail. And because I think the information session was normally like an hour, and I was there for almost 2 hours. But he was just so thorough in everything that he shared with me. It was amazing. And the nurse who helps the surgeons who do the weight loss surgery, she also came in for part of that info session and was able to answer questions.
And good for April to seek out this information, decide to do it, and then do the things she needed to do to actually get the surgery, and not lie and manipulate and then not go through with it like Amber did. So good on April. I'm really proud of her for this.
And after that, I didn't know which surgery, but I was like, this is for people like me. This is for people who regain weight, people who struggle to lose all of the weight. It is a tool that I can use, not alone. If I don't use the tool to work at it, it won't. But if I use...
Yeah, because it's not a magic pill. It's not going to do everything for you, but it helps.
Use the tool as it's meant to be used, then I can reach a healthy weight and just live my life without being so focused on food. At this point, I was working and doing other things in my life that helped me live a little healthier and brighter.
And I like not having to worry about food or not thinking about food, having all that food noise. Like, that takes up so much mental time and energy. I love not having to think about food. Like, it's so problematic, especially when you're somebody with disordered eating. It can be all consuming at times. So it's really nice to just kind of be able to silence that a little bit.
And stepped away completely from like YouTube, from...
She couldn't take the heat, so she got out of the kitchen.
Instagram. I made like a separate Instagram for my friends and family.
She snuck around on us. I see what you did, April.
Just because that's how I keep up. Like, I keep up with my niece and my sister and all my sisters. And I keep up with my family through social media. So it's hard to just take a complete break from social media when I live a bazillion miles away. But I stopped giving any thought or attention to YouTube and to making YouTube videos. Not because I didn't want to ever make YouTube videos again, but before I even went to that appointment, I was just trying to force things, and didn't feel right.
And and she didn't like the criticism and the reacts and stuff. And the issue is that she's going to have to realize that's going to happen. Look at him right here doing it right now. If she's going to be on YouTube. But the problem is she was lying before. If she's just honest, like legitimately honest, shows the scale, shows legitimate weigh-ins, doesn't try to like pull the wool over people's eyes. Yeah, people might react and have some criticisms, but she's not going to get it with both barrels like she was before. Because one of the main problems people had with her wasn't that she was struggling, she was having problems. It was the lying. So that's my biggest piece of advice. Just be honest.
And it wasn't just forcing videos. It was everything. I was just trying to force myself to be okay when I wasn't okay. And I just didn't know what to do. So I focused on filling my day to day with the things that matter most. So my family, my spirituality, and working towards the weight loss surgery, which just included, it was a pretty easy process. I will at some point make a video with like the timeline of.
Okay, so she's going to take us through the process. That's interesting. I'm excited to hear that.
What I did to have weight loss surgery, just because I think it's interesting. And I know all insurance companies do things differently, but I don't know. It's just my experience. And I think it's interesting and will be interesting to have down for future me, and for anyone who wants to watch that might be interested. But to talk a little bit about that. So I did the information session. Then I met with, that was the first step. The second step was doing like all this blood work and doing some testing. And then I had to have 3 classes with this nutritionist, our dietitian. She's a dietitian, and they were nutrition courses. And the courses were like setting up expectations. The first one for what post-surgery life is. And
yeah, and I wonder how much they made her lose before she had the surgery.
What each surgery.
I wonder if she's going to tell us what her actual starting weight was. I hope she does. I just need to know.
Entails and how that affects, and so on and so forth. The second one was like supplementation. And the third one was like the immediately after surgery focus on diet and things. And once I finished those, I went on to the next step, which was a behavioral health assessment. And you have to get cleared from the specific doctor in order to move on. And then it was just meeting with my surgeon and scheduling the surgery. So there were there's other testing and things in there, but I didn't have a lot of extra tests. Some people have like sleep apnea tests.
Yeah, they'll do sleep apnea. They'll check your like cardiovascular health and all of that stuff.
And like other things, mine were all pretty basic. And so I got pretty lucky in that it was pretty quick. It would have been even quicker if Christmas and December didn't fall right there in the middle of it, because Christmas, the behavioral health specialist took the entire month off. And so by the time I went to the information session.
Wow, that would set everybody back quite a bit, wouldn't it?
He was booked out until January, and like the end of January. So I didn't even get into the behavioral health doctor until the 1st of February. And then I had a little bit more to do before I had to meet with the surgeon before I could schedule. And then I had family coming, and I did not want to be immediately out of surgery when my brother and sister-in-law and nephew came. So I ended up opting to push it for after their visit. And so
but she also she always used to make excuses for not dieting or not sticking with an eating plan when her family was in town or over the holidays or when they were on vacation, saying things like to the tune of, I didn't want what I was doing to affect everybody else and be a problem. It's like, why is what you eat affecting anyone else? Like, it doesn't. Like, you're on a diet, they're not. Let them eat what they want, and you just eat your diet food. If you guys go out for ice cream, go out and hang out with them. Just don't get it. Don't get any. Or just say, oh, hey, I can't have those mashed potatoes, or I'm just going to have salad. I'm just going to have the meat and the vegetable. And it's like if her family really got on her, like, oh, your dieting is such a problem for us, well, then that's pretty shitty of them. And I don't know if they were like that or not, but she just said the same thing. Oh, I didn't want to be post surgery. I understand the post surgery thing because you're tired, you're achy, you're recovering. But as far as like diet and food, that shouldn't matter to people. And I think that like she worries too much about that.
I prolonged it a little, but if I wouldn't have had those things, it would have been like 2 months max. And then because of those extra things, I think it was like 4 months from the info session to having the weight loss surgery. So it wasn't that long, but it was plenty long enough for me. I am so grateful.
See, and do you see how like fast this process can move along when you're doing what needs to be done? It's not always fast for other people, Amber, but it can be if you're doing the damn thing, as she would say.
To have had it, and I'm grateful to be on
when did you have it?
Side of
how long ago did you have it?
What I experienced when I first moved here. I don't know all the things. Like I don't know the chemical imbalances that causes depression or why certain life events lead me to.
Fun fact, one of the main feel-good hormones, serotonin, while it is a mental health chemical, it is made in your gut. So that's another reason why mental health and like physical health and diet are so closely intertwined.
Depression, if that's even related, it could be other things. It could be, I don't know, mold in the hotels we stayed in for 2 months. Who knows?
And don't push it, girl.
And yet it happened, and it's happened before. Not a ton, but I've had several periods where I have been significantly depressed for a significant period of time. And
that's a struggle. And that sucks. And I hope that she's in a place where she has a good handle on that.
And that's just part of my life. And now I know the most effective way to handle that will be going to my doctor at the first, as opposed to waiting until I'm at that like almost breaking, like.
So is she still on that medicine, I wonder?
Well, I guess I was past a breaking point, but I got lucky that I reached out for that help, because if I didn't, I wouldn't have just gained back the weight that I did.
Yeah, good on her for doing that. I give her credit for that.
I would have gained back so much more. Yeah. And one of the things I did have to do was go on birth control. And I think that contributed to a little bit more. So
now, that's a misconception, okay? Birth control messes with your hormones. So yes, it can cause weight gain because it messes with your hormones and your metabolism. You may gain 5, maybe 10 pounds on birth control, but it does not make you gain 20, 30, 50, 80 pounds. No siree, Bob. It doesn't. Almost no medicine does that. If it does, it's because it's affected your metabolism or your hunger or your ability to move in some way, and you have to adjust your diet accordingly.
A little bit more weight gain. So when I first started going to the doctor, I had reached like 308 pounds, I think. It was like right around 308 pounds.
So she did get back up over 308. I think she might have actually weighed a little bit more than that, but okay, we'll go with 308. So, that's a big like revelation for her, because she wanted us to think that she really hadn't gained that much weight back, if any. She was still claiming to be 260s, 270s. So she gained back at least 40 some pounds. Yikes.
And then when I did my pre-surgery appointments and stuff, I was close to like 315. And then when I did the DEXA scan, I was 319 pounds. And I did. So
she just kept going up and up and up and up and up. See, it was going to happen.
A DEXA scan before the surgery. And that was before I did like the liquid diet. And so I gained a little bit of weight before I lost weight with the liquid diet. The liquid diet is a diet to shrink your liver pre-surgery. And so They
Yeah, I know. I don't know what they had her drink. I know in some of the shows I've watched from England, they put people on like a milk diet for a couple weeks.
didn't give me a weight loss goal or anything from the time I went to the doctor, like the info session, until I started. They gave me
So she didn't see Dr. Now for sure.
other goals like chewing your food. And I didn't know that I didn't chew my food, but found out really quick that
Yeah, people who tend to be really overweight and really big or gain a lot of weight, you eat really fast and you don't chew properly and you don't take your time. And a lot of the times, until you're actually physically being mindful of that, you don't even realize it.
I am terrible at chewing food and not drinking with a straw and cutting out carbonated beverages. So they gave me things to work on just to make the transition into this lifestyle easier. And that's what I focused on. I know all medical or surgical teams have different.
And she actually did it. So good for her. It's good to see a successful weight loss surgery arc because Amber's was so absolutely infuriating.
Goals for people are different things that they lay forth before surgery. So anyway.
So I need to know when she had this surgery and how much weight she's lost so far. She might not tell us that in this video, but she's going to do a timeline.
I have missed sharing parts of my life with y'all. I have missed making videos, and I have felt.
And she lives in Hawaii. There's so much beautiful stuff to see, so many beautiful places for her to go. Like the vlogging will be great. So I'm glad that she can do it now.
I felt so guilty every time my mom and my grandparents have mentioned making YouTube videos, and that I just wasn't making them. And I wasn't making them for me. But
sometimes you need to step away though, like for your own, like just health, mentally, just stress. Sometimes you're just busy. Sometimes you do have to just kind of step away. But she stepped away because she couldn't take the heat. She really couldn't. It was getting to her. You could tell.
I wanted to make them for the people that I love, and I wanted to make them for those of you who've reached out to me and shared, concern and different things. And yet I did not have it. I did not have it to give. And that's an all me problem. Like I was the problem there. And yeah, I am glad to be sharing. I hope that sharing my weight loss ups and downs going forward will help just one other person.
It will, but focus on yourself, April. Like she needs to focus on herself and just, like I said, be honest. It will be so much better if she's just honest throughout the process.
It's a lonely road, but I do know that there are very few things in this life that we experience alone. There are others who have experienced similar struggles in similar circumstance or completely different, but there's so much in life that is shared, or we have the ability to share and uplift one another. I know that I am uplifted when you guys share things with me. I just read a comment when I was thinking about making this video, and someone shared with me something that I needed to hear, and I should just put it up and talk about it, but I can't. I didn't think about doing that before, and I don't know. I don't even know.
Yeah, and she's had so many comments about, where are you at, April? We hope you're doing good. We hope you're okay. Just let us know you're okay. And it's like, it would have been nice if she could have just even did a community post and said, look, I need to take some time. It could be days, it could be weeks, it could be months. I'll be back someday, but I need to do this. I don't want you all to worry. She really just fell off the face of the earth, and she had a pretty big following and a lot of people that really cared about her. So that I didn't love. I understand needing the break. I just wish she would have said something about it.
Know what I would say, but I needed to hear it. And so often that's been the case throughout these several years of me making YouTube, that people share their stories and it just helps me. And anything that I've ever said, I am not saying you should do. I don't think that weight loss surgery is the answer for everyone. However, I am grateful to have opened myself up to it being an answer or a tool for me.
Yeah, and be honest. Be like, this is how I have to eat. This is what I'm eating. This is how much I have to eat. I take these supplements. I do these exercises. Like, today I feel like crap. Just like be honest and share the ups and the downs, the goods and the bads, and don't get into this super artificial toxic positivity mindset. And I think that not only will it be more relatable, the videos will be enjoyable, but she will enjoy making them more because she won't have to put on this crazy act every time she gets in front of the camera.
And I love you. And thank you for watching this video with me. I felt like I could make this video today, and so I have filmed it. So I'm sure there's all kinds of holes and things that I need to follow up.
Oh, Kiwi Farms, the April Lauren thread will rejoice. We can finally come back to it because I do read the farms. They post every now and then. Oh, we wonder if she'll come back. Well, boy, it's going to be on fire now. I can't wait to read it.
Things that I should have said and I didn't, but I will make future videos. So leave questions in the comments below or things that you noticed that maybe I said I was going to say and then talked in circles and never actually got to the point. So just comment those things below. I love you so much, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video, which will be 1 week post-op. In closing, here is the video, which will be 1 week post-op.
1 week post. Okay, so she really kind of just had this surgery, like just had it. Okay, exciting, curious, very exciting. We will see this journey pretty much from right after the surgery. So that's exciting. I can't wait to see somebody, hopefully, one of the locals, have an actual successful journey. And that was one of the most frustrating things about April, was she had huge success when she was younger, and she was one of the ones that truly had the ability to actually succeed. And she just was not honest and was not doing the things. So it was extra frustrating. So hopefully this goes a much different way.
Closing, here is some footage of surgery.
Oh, we're getting some surgery footage. Yay! Oh, there's the doggies.
I'm going to go get my babies. So one of the things that I think I'm going to miss, one of the things I'm going to miss the most is length. I'm a poor, I like to drink water, and I just gulp it down. So I brought 3 water bottles. So once I get to the hospital, I cannot drink.
Yeah, you can really see here in this angle in this footage, just in her face, how much weight she'd gained back, because she really, really fills out in her face, as a lot of people do, and you can just see how much weight she'd gained back. Oh, that's unfortunate.
That's for right now. I'm gonna gulp it up. Oh, you're done with your teasing? He's all like, I'm gonna drink water right in front of you. I'm gonna gulp up.
I would have such a hard time with the carbonated beverages because I am a diet pop addict.
Down.
A whole liter of smart water.
A whole liter of smart water. There you have surgery. Sure. I'll see you.
Oh, I think we're recording. We're recording.
Again, he's like, I think we're recording. I don't do this. It's not my job.
Oh, yeah, you hiding now? Yeah, you love me? Cranky girl.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of discomfort initially after the surgery, for sure.
Pain? Why in pain?
I'm so glad it went well and there was no complications and she didn't have to wait like 7-8 months to do it.
Ew, sounds brutal. Mm-hmm. The ice helps. Why'd they do that? Wait, what's this? Oh, I was talking about why they opened up the guts. Maybe the camera wants to see outside, but that means we gotta open up the blinds.
Kenny's just such a goof. Beautiful. Can you imagine that view of the Hawaiian hills and stuff? Oh boy. What a nice place to be laid up, I guess.
Medical facility. Whoa. This took all of her vitals. This was vital.
Okay, so she was in the hospital for three days.
Vital. Because it's a vital machine. Got no blood
Yes,
pressure.
that's a vital machine. It's also a thermometer. It takes your temperature too.
And heart rate and oxygen levels. Just too important. And over here, just gave her an
An IV pump.
These very vital for survival. Just kind of having fun. But now she doesn't need IVs. So now she can drink on her own.
Well, Kenny's trying to make some interesting, entertaining, humorous stuff, so I give him credit.
Oh, and then her pink shoes. Those were definitely very vital. She wouldn't go nowhere without her pink shoes. Very, very vital.
Her cold button's on the floor. Kenny, pick it up.
So, look at that. Super pink. Wipe this back on her face.
She's probably like, oh my god, be quiet.
Going a little.
She just...
I have no idea. That towel is vital. Yeah, she's got this machine. It's hooked up to her all over. These little sticky things.
Yeah, it's the heart monitor.
Oh yeah. You walked further the first day than all. It's true. But then you're like, no more walking. Give me home. Drug make her crazy, make her need oxygen. It's funny how she got
Gosh, she's such a goof.
I thought about veg
Skip a couple seconds of this.
or protein shakes. Those things are delicious. I guess that's what she's gonna be living on.
Well, okay, I guess I'm going to end it here. It's just Kenny kind of being a little goofy and showing her. I am super happy April is back and that she seems to be doing a lot better. I will definitely be following her. Like I said, I was kind of behind the scenes contemplating doing a retro series of covering her previous videos and her previous journey and discussing all the ups and downs and what went wrong and things like that, how she got her low-cal status. But I don't think we have to because I think April's back. So lucky us. Anyways, please like and subscribe. If you don't have a comment, but you want to help the algorithm, leave a palm tree in the comments because they're in Hawaii and there's lots of palm trees and they're beautiful. But anyways, I hope you are excited as I am. I am very, very happy for April. I hope she drops a ton of weight and gets really healthy and maybe they can still have a child if that's what they still wish to have. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.